What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into Barley Studios. Now today in the studio we're continuing with the Coffee Time art commentary series. Yes, we are going to be working to consolidate some of my old TikTok shorts into nice bite-sized pieces here for YouTube. And in doing so, we're able to spend some time together in the studio just going over all of these awesome art projects that I had made previously. Throughout this series, I'll be talking with you about some of the techniques and different projects and just giving you my mind's eye of what I was thinking at the time when I created it. So let's go ahead and jump into this art commentary, guys, with Coffee Time. Alright, so let's go ahead and crank this up here. Alright, so we're cranking up this with a new video here. Now this is where I'm actually working on a Spider-Man 3D sculpted tumbler. This is where I'm detail painting it with a little itty bitty brush there. Itty bitty. And it was really cool. You can see I did put a lot of wording on the TikTok itself. 3D Spider-Man breakaway tumbler full length on YouTube. Byerly Studios, that was before I renamed it to John Byerly Studios. Go ahead and take that branding and own it, right? Own your branding. It was a really fun project. A customer had reached out to me through TikTok. I referred them to the Etsy shop, and of course I was able to make that. They were able to make that purchase, and I was going ahead and start that commission, and it was a blast. I think I mentioned it in our previous commentary video, whereas this is kind of like spurred by me creating the ghost tumbler. It was a Ghostbusters tumbler where the ghost was breaking through the ectoplasmic like chamber or ghost canister, as it were. It was really cool. It had like ectoplasmic goo coming out of the top of it, and it was I kind of like labeled it breakaway tumbler, and that's what really spurred that whole thing. I did a ghost tumbler, I did a zombie tumbler, and I did a Spider-Man tumbler. I really haven't touched any of these since. Maybe I'll make another one here coming up soon. I would like to make a few different ones. You can really make these out of any kind of character that you would like to. Of course, it was very basic. I could have went ahead and kind of blasted through it and made it like really deteriorated. I was originally also thinking about making it to where Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire, and he's like blasted through the brick wall and his face mask is all torn up and busted. And I was thinking about making it busted, have his skin and blood and stuff, and I just really never got around to that. But I thought that it turned out pretty cool. Very detail oriented as far as the shading of the net texture of the red, and then going over all of those lines with the silver paint. It was really intricate and very cool. Let's go ahead and blast through that video, you guys. That is a long video. Almost 10 minutes. That's pretty cool content. And of course the next one in this little video here is me making that brick texture, because he's breaking through a brick wall, so I hand painted all the mortar and the brick texture. I used folk art brick, red brick for that red brick, and it turned out absolutely amazing. Look at the detail work on that. Is phenomenal. I love that color. I don't get to use it very often. This is pretty fun, you guys. Now this is where me and my daughter were actually creating little not diglets, dittos. Alexa, studio on. Boom. Dittos. So this also spurred me wanting to create a larger scale diorama, and it has like glowing geodes, and it's linked to the Alexa, so when I turn it on, all the geodes light up, and he's painted with a bunch of metallics so that he like reflects the geodes, and I made it to where it looks like it's like a rock cave base. And it just looks really cool. Kind of like the ditto is like down in the recesses of like a cave, like mossy. It's got a lot of yellow ochre and things like that. And this spurred that project. You'll probably see that pop up here in the next few videos or so of the art commentary. So just be aware of that. It was pretty cool. I made this more so in another long form content video because I was experimenting with the 10-minute window for creating videos. Let's go ahead and fast through that. I used the Mars Black base, and then we went into a lot of different types of folk art metallics to give it a really nice build up. And I went ahead and give it like a stippling texture on top of it, just to kind of give it some variations and some details. And it was really cool. I have it up here somewhere. Here he is. Just like that. And my daughter made one as well, and then she painted hers, of course. It was pretty fun. Just a little twirling effect there of what it looks like. and then there's both of them. Pretty fun overall. This is a fishing lure tumbler. Like I used to make a ton of these, you guys. Absolute ton. Striped bass tumbler from Byerly Studios. And now this is my own design. I designed this in a jagged and a smooth texture, and it's my design. I created this, and I sold it on Etsy for quite a long time, and then eventually I just kind of stopped selling it because it wasn't picking up. But I did sell a ton of those tumblers, so it was very fun. This right here is actually kind of a long form video of me creating the topper for the Grim Reaper gnome. It's right back there. It was very fun to create that topper. It was a standalone topper away from the lid. Just be aware of that. So it could be used as just a kind of just a trophy sculpture piece, and not absolutely just, for instance, just like a actual lid that you would drink out of. It was more so just me experimenting with 3D textures on like using a tumbler as a base. It was just really cool. This is actually kind of a long video here where I'm just like building up that texture, and when I build it up, then I can start actually sculpting, adding a little bit of texture to the top right there, just to kind of create some variation and some rippling like fabric texture. And then I kind of lean that over, and then we're going to put a skull bead at the very end of the hat, like tail. Pretty cool. Again, experimenting with some of those 10-minute long videos, because I had unlocked that so early in my TikTok journey that I really wanted to experiment to see if I could get a lot of engagement on those 10-minute videos. It's really hard to engage people on a fast scrolling platform like TikTok or Instagram into a 10-minute video. This stuff is more so reserved for YouTube, and that's where I'm putting most of my invested time in now. Fast forwarding a little bit, guys, let's intro to a time lapse. Looking good. Here's another, just a showcase dual duet, and it's pretty cool, just showing the workstation that I had, and it's incredible to see how far along my workstations came since then. It was out in the living area, now it's in the studio. It's pretty cool. Here it is with epoxy. I wasn't using the Flint Sister at the time. I was using Amazing Clearcast. It's just a different type of epoxy brand. I'm glad I was able to finally upgrade that. I did create some webbing texture coming out of the brick wall there, and I have it attached on the backhand side of it. And the brick texture is very simplistic overall, the length of the tumbler, but it's just really cool. Now at this point, what I'm doing for the Grim Reaper gnome is I'm actually building a base with clay and resin stalagmites. Very cool, and I've actually made those stalagmites out of UV resin cured on different textures to create really sharp, detailed, jagged fixtures. I'll post a little video of that right there. That's what it actually looks like in its final form, because it is here still in the studio. I did sculpt that specifically to fit the Grim Reaper gnome tumbler on, so it's designed specifically for that tumbler, and it is right there. It's a really great statement piece, and in a way I'm kind of glad I haven't sold it yet, because it's just so cool to be in the studio. It's kind of like my alien egg over here. It's just really cool. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through some of that sculpting process. I'm gonna slow down here. Here's where I'm actually building some of those actual clay stalagmites here as they come up before I actually put the resin stalagmites in, which are a lot sharper. Don't push your hand on them or it'll skewer your fingers in your skin. But I was actually just blending these one at a time with a little piece of armature wire on each one for strength. And then after I bake this, then I could start in with the details. See, I'm forming that with saran wrap around the tumbler so I can get a perfectly great fit on the tumbler itself. Now I used a piece of aluminum foil just to get a really cool detailed texture over the entire base. That gives a really great rock formation. I actually did it with this as well. Great texture with just aluminum foil and some basic tools. You'll see this video coming out in the near future. And this is probably gonna be my longest YouTube video yet. It was really cool sculpting these in total just because they were just really fun sculpting in an upward fashion instead of just sculpting always like vertical or sideways and things like that. It's like forming something from the base up. It's just really cool, very jagged. I was also experimenting with different things as far as like creating a UV resin, because I wanted to make like a little lantern that the Grim Reaper would hold or hang from the top of his scythe, or sickle, depending on how you say that. And I was experimenting with mica powders over UV resins to create different stained glass effects. It was really cool, and I really experimented with these pretty in depth over like a cycle of time, and I really enjoyed the overall process. I also used this method to make the stained glass wings for the gnome angel that I made, and I still have yet to finish that. See how like fun it was to create just itty bitty little stalagmites. And then of course back then I was making content for short form about everything that I did in the studio. So of course I was just putting out tons of content. It didn't have to be great, it didn't have to be amazing, it just had to have substance. And I just wanted to get it out there. For a long time I was posting once a day, every single day, on TikTok and Instagram. And it's great. It's fun. It means you're creating and having fun in the studio, but it's really unsustainable, and you don't have to create that many videos to really go viral or just get a great following. I'd rather just create great content and then just upload that maybe every Friday or every 2 weeks, and just have a great following there on long form content on YouTube. I just think that's a little bit easier, a little bit more laid back. It's a little bit funner. Look how great that looks. And of course I kind of pulled those apart and made them in clear as well. Making those over a plastic base, like a plastic baggie or saran wrap, gives you different textures overall. That's pretty cool. Now, because a lot of these videos were 10-minute long videos, I'm going to kind of shrink this down, and we're going to jump into another segment that I had left over for I believe it was the 2022 segment of these consolidated videos. So we'll go ahead and go into another 22-minute segment, and then the final video will be another 30-minute segment. Using UV resin to create those little stalagmites, and you can see it buckles the plastic. Pretty cool, right? And I had to use like an X-Acto knife to peel that up. Sometimes it kind of got out of control. Look how cool that looked. A stained glass effect with kind of UV resin, and that's where I really got a lot of ideas for different ways to use UV resin. And then you see the light shining through that. Look how cool that is, right? So then I would put those into place. And then I would get the impression of them and remove them, put them in order around the item, and then I'd bake it, and then we'd use E6000 to adhesive those into position. Pretty cool, right? Whew, tired. Just got done weed eating, got a shower, time for a little studio time. So in the second half of this video, we're going to go into another consolidation of TikTok videos. So we're just going to jump into it, guys, the second part of this video, because the first part of this content was kind of consolidated down in time lapse because the videos were 10 minutes long. There may be more 10-minute long videos in this one, I don't know. So this right here is an alcohol swirl tumbler. I can't remember off the top of my head which one this is. I've done so many of them, and they're literally laying all over the place. I've sold an absolute ton of them. I would like to get to a point at some point where I can sell these live again. I did it for a little while, and I just really kind of just fell out of it and just kind of stopped doing it. The workspace that I have inside is really not ideal for like that large scale type of production of tumblers, but maybe one day when I get like a large scale studio outside, maybe in an outdoor space, air conditioned, humidity controlled, or something like that, that I can start some real high-end production of like not just canvas work, arts and crafts and things, and dioramas and monster truck RC cars, and all sorts of different things, larger size sculptures, and maybe more tumblers. This is a very dark tumbler in total, and I believe it's like kind of like a green theme in total. So we're using a lot of green inks in this, and I'm using also, I believe, acrylic paint. I believe that's a Hooker green paint, and then I'm using gold. So I don't remember what to put on this cup, but it is a green and gold themed tumbler. But look at how bright that gold is as I drizzle it on the outside of that tumbler. It is so cool looking, and I really love using gold in art, whether it's gold leaf on a canvas painting, or if it's like silver leaf. I use silver leaf on that abstract painting, and you'll kind of see that way later on in these compilation videos. But there's silver leaf in it, so depending on the light source that you have on it, depends on how it glows or how it reflects light. So if you have like a cool light, it reflects silver. If you have a warm light, it reflects gold. It's pretty cool. I made these ever so often. This is me just kind of enjoying the creation process with my daughter, making little jewelry like out of UV resin and 2-part epoxy. So just really cool. And I had like a few of these little silicone little molds here, and me and my daughter just had fun. This one in particular we put snake skin on. I do work in the IT industry, so sometimes once in a while I'm out and about and I'll find a snake skin. My wife hates it, but I do try to save those for pieces of art. And of course usually those are sealed inside resin or something like that, or I put them like underneath like a Mod Podge layer, so they're just kind of sealed away. Whether you want to think of those like icky or not, it's just put away and out of the way. But look how cool that looks. So I put like one more layer on top of that just to kind of give it a smooth texture there. Look how cool it looks. Simplistic, just easy crafts. Oh man. So this right here is Haunt House 2022 in Winston-Salem. So my in-laws put on a haunted house every year. And yes, I want to make a lot of haunted Halloween style crafts. I really just haven't broke into that yet in my journey here on YouTube. But I have made quite a few things already. But I want to start breaking into creating things for the haunted house. This is this is the first year that we recorded it, and then we recorded it after that as well. But I went on TikTok live a few times when I was out there. It kind of picked up a little bit, but it's not super like professional grade like haunted house, right? But it's just something that they put on like every year, and they add a little bit to it every year, and it's just supposed to be really cool and fun. As you can see here, I did try to keep a little bit of that audio in this video, and for some reason when I was going through the clown house, the audio got really distorted for some reason. It's very bizarre. Are you afraid of clowns? I hope not. The Headless Horseman, very cool. Now, just so you know that I do have this, and so I have 2022 and I have 2023 full landscape video content of the walkthrough of both haunted houses year after year on my YouTube channel, and you can find those under haunts and Halloween decor on my homepage, so you'll see that. I believe it's listed as haunted houses or haunted Halloween decor. You'll be able to find that. This year I hope to invest a lot more time with them. So like I may be having surgery of some sort, and then I may be out of commission, so I hope to have all that time to be able to make a lot of video content. Maybe we'll do some like different setup of us putting some of the animatronics together. Me and my sister-in-law will probably do that. Me doing walkthroughs during the daylight of perhaps maybe like the path that goes around the back of the woods, or the photo op at the very end, or maybe just general like interviewing my in-laws, getting a description of what they think of the haunted house. So this year I'd like to, so every year I try to increase the production grade of the haunted house when I record it. Even if it is similar decor that you see year after year, it makes a return, right? So I want to kind of be able to kind of show everything, but add a little bit of video quality to it every year. Obviously, I'm recording with my phone. That's the only thing I record with in the studio as of right now. Eventually, when I start making money on here on YouTube, then I can reinvest that money, and I'll get me a really nice 4K camera with a stabilizer, and it's going to upgrade everything. But for now, look at the nurse with like the bandage over the face. That's pretty cool. It's an animatronic. It wasn't working last year for some reason. You gotta look into that. A little body that sits up on the coroner's table. Faces. I hope to redo these faces for her at some point with like actual clay and really detail paint them gore. Maybe I'll redo that sometime as like a Christmas gift. Two babies sewed together. A baby in a jar with LED lights, pretty cool. I think that was a rat. It's like a really big animatronic rat that comes out of the front of the table. I feel a little bit of a jump scare around the knees. The butcher shop is like the butcher, and then there's a Grim Reaper where you went through like a little bit of a witch's area. So there's a cauldron, a witch, and then you went to a small graveyard. And then of course, see you in 2023. We have that video available if you want to watch that. And then here comes 2024, you guys. Bombshell. I love this cup. Now, a great customer had requested this from me. They gave me the ideas of what they wanted. They sent me a ton of images. I was able to download those, resize them, and I made a collage style tumbler. And this is actually a water slide wrap with 2 full water slides. And then it is spectacular. It's actually right here. I'll give you a little side clip of that right there. And then here is a traffic cone tumbler. So I actually created this as like a showpiece to have in the background of my YouTube and TikTok lives, and it's right there on the shelf. Now this one right here is an absolute stunner, okay? Now this was a Winnie the Pooh tumbler theme. So the customer requested a Winnie the Pooh tumbler, and we're going to go more in depth of that, but man, it was an intense project. It has its own video playlist here on my YouTube channel of sculpting and detail painting that in a realistic detail paint and epoxy. So all the epoxy looks like real honey. This one right here, I actually still, it may not be this one particular bit. I do have one of these in the studio right now at this moment in time that I have yet to finish detailing. So if you're interested in a toxic barrel tumbler, let me know. I'll sell it to you super cheap, unless you want some like heavy detail work done to it. But I do have one of those almost completed and kind of halfway ready. So if you're interested in that and I still have it nearby, let me know. Hit me up on Etsy. But I do sell these on Etsy. I'm the first one to start selling the barrel style tumblers. I'm proud to say that, and I ain't afraid to say it. But there's a few others out there who kind of like tried to come in and create different things like this. They're great. They're cool. They're good. And I don't mind. I'm not a gatekeeper, right? I'm not here to keep you from doing stuff. But you know where to get it at. So here's another like a little I don't know, I think this is a UV resin one, but I put a whole lot of glitter in there. It's like a red glitter, just some general red glitter, and then I put some Tim Holtz ink in there, and it looked really cool. Look how blood red that looks. It's really great on camera. And this is the one where I actually just shoved some gold leaf down in there just to give it kind of something similar to the snakeskin one. We probably made all of these at the exact same time, and I just uploaded them like days apart, so that way I'm not uploading the same thing over and over again. One thing you'll notice, whether it's here on YouTube or TikTok, is I'm not just one niche of artist, right? I don't just do dioramas all the time. I don't just do tumblers all the time. It may hinder my growth, but at least when you follow, subscribe to me here on YouTube, you get diversity. You can see all sorts of art here. Oh man. So this is one of those funny ones where it's like the chick is saying, what sound is better than this? And then she takes the coffee cup with ice in it. And I'm like, the Office intro theme song, of course. Liquefied Power, customer requested. Super cool. I want to make another one of these. And I do have this for sale on YouTube, but it is gold themed. It is liquid gold, liquid power. This right here is kind of an odd project, and it's okay. There's a 3D molar tumbler. I never even fully finished painting it. I really need to get around to knocking that out and just sell it for dirt cheap. I know that not 3D Tumbler Lounge, DimensionalDrinks.com, they do 3D prints of sleeves for tumblers, and they sell a tooth sleeve, so you can get that. This right here is a son and father cup here. I do have this one in the background, and it is Holt theme. They glowed in the dark, super intense, super cool. My son still uses his. I also made a crown to go on that tooth. It had a cavity. I had to put a crown on it. And I did detail paint the top of the tooth, but it's over there somewhere. Random, like just Halloween random TikTok. If you'll see one of those ever so often. Talk about an intense project. This is where I reused that stained glass, as I mentioned earlier in the content video, where I had used UV resin, lots of it here obviously, and I used mica powders dusted on in different layers to create that multicolored effect. And it has a stained glass wings for it and an angel gnome tumbler. For a long time, I was really experimenting with really going outrageously huge with a lot of these tumbler builds. And I'm going to finish it, guys. I know I need to. It's one of the best hit videos on 3D tumblers on my YouTube channel. I need to get it done. Show me some love in the description, in the comments below. Do you want to see the angel gnome done? I'll put some time and effort into it. Oh, this is just showing, like, look at that studio, right? Look at the space. I had something hanging on the wall that held little things, and this is when I first built the shelves to go on the back of my kitchen countertop that I scrapped on. But look how far I've come. I mean, and it's all just reinvested money. So I sell something, I get a little money in, I buy supplies, or I upgrade. It's really cool to be able to reinvest that money. Here's that gold and green tumbler that we spoke of earlier that I was making. Look how great that turned out. A back and forth of the Spider-Man. This was made with, it was one of those pre-made theme sets. I can't remember the name. Cast something. Use it to make videos. Here's a barrel collection. I sold a few of these back to back for a while there. They got really popular. They come and go. Sometimes they'll go through popularity and sometimes they'll come back around. It just depends on the situation. Wow. Don't judge me here, guys. I'm going to turn this into a painting at some point. Like, reminding myself when I watch this content on YouTube, if I ever do, I'm going to turn that into a painting. It's me as a werewolf. AI is getting crazy. I think I was making something here. I'm always making something, right? I'm mixing a lot of glow powders with glitter. I think this is that tumbler up there. Maybe not, I don't know. Glow powders and glitters, glow powders and glitters, gold and glow powder. Wow. Oh, paints, lots of paints. Look how great those colors look. What did I make? I don't remember. I think this was a pretty popular video too. A lot of people like to see like epoxy mixing. It's really relaxing and it's really cool. Look how great the colors look. If you've never worked with epoxy and inks and paints and stuff all together and to make pieces of art, then you really should do so. This is a two-tone cup, and I don't remember really what happened to it. I think it's my daughter's. I don't remember. I think it was my daughter's. Let's see what it turns out to be, because I can't remember. I don't see it laying around anywhere, so I must have sold it. This was an order. This was a customer order because at the time my wife was pregnant and I wasn't doing epoxy here at the house, and I had to make this at my mother-in-law's house. It was the last order before I cut off epoxy for a while, where I increased prices to where people just rarely bought from me. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm astonished myself on how great that tumbler looks. What? Holy cow. I don't like the pink underneath the paint though. Wow, look at the UV light hitting it. Holy cow. It's okay. Look, you see those grains of glitter in there a lot. I think it was a little bit better before it swirled all together. Man, it was still stunning though. It would have been better on just a pure white base. Just a pure white base. charging it up so I can see what it looks like. Yeah, man, look how pretty that is. That needs a unicorn on it. Maybe I did put a unicorn on it. I don't remember. It'll probably pop up here in a minute. But, man, look how great that looks. It almost looks like a blue. A lot of, like, the glow-in-the-dark pigments and stuff will look blue or yellow when they glow, just because that's the most notorious ones for retaining light. Look at the ditto. Remember I said earlier that we made a ditto? There it is. Look how great that is. And it's up there again. I was using AI to experiment with some different ditto sculptures and things and seeing what it would turn it into. It turned it into a person at one point. And it gave it teeth. Look at that one's mean looking. That one's happy. That's a cute one. Cool. It's fall, y'all. It's fall, y'all. Yeah, this is a tumbler that I made for my mother. She still has it in the cabinet. Sometimes when I open it up, it's like it's fall, y'all. It's like, hey, I made that. It was really cool. I was experimenting with some new glitter colors here that I got from, I think that was Glitter Chimp. Like bronze and gold and copper colors. That one right there is just a dumb TikTok there. It was just me putting like my ditto on like a Pokemon card. Oh, that's horrible. Look at the quality of the video. This is me on TikTok live. I was actually live at this point, hence the live button at the top. And I was actually painting ditto here in metallics. It was a really fun painting process, and I used a lot of different metallics, and it actually has a purple to pink to blue to silver blue ombre all the way down it. It is really cool. I currently have that for sale on Etsy. It's a little bit of a higher price point because it does have LEDs, it has circuitry, it has a plug that comes with it. It has all sorts of stuff that goes with it when it goes. And then at the bottom of the wooden panel opens up so you can always redo the wiring if you need to, or add more LEDs, or change the colors if you wanted to put warm lights instead of cool lights. I put blue lights in it myself, and it looks really cool. These are like coasters that I had created for my sister for Christmas one year. I don't know if she still has them, but they are craft themed. At that time, she was, I believe she was doing like a overseas, like an English teaching class, job. And these were just kind of cool, like teacher-ish / like crafter, because she likes to do art and crafts too. I did, however, do a little bit different. Instead of buying a mold, I actually hand sculpted the disc, smoothed it. I made my own mold, which I still have, and then I put everything in there with the resin and the epoxy and mica powders, and then I put a protective layer over it as the final coat. There's that ditto again returning there. Man, talk about an intense project, and you're going to see these popping up over the next few videos, guys. Now, this is actually me working on the Mad Mike Studio. The Mad Mike Studio Robot Man build. So, Mad Mike, man, I've never really met you face-to-face. If I ever get up to Canada, I'm going to swing by and check out your shop and your studio. But this right here is the base of this huge tumbler build. His wife commissioned this from me for a Christmas project, and I have this in a full-length series on my YouTube channel. Huge project. It took me months to create. I barely had it out in time for her to get it before Christmas. I don't think I did. I wonder if she got it before Christmas. I can't remember. But it was huge. It included everything from LEDs, a welding torch, to boots, to blue jeans. Every stitch was like hand detailed, sculpted in. A fireman jacket, a working, capable welding helmet with even a welding lens that goes up and down. It incorporated UV resin. Oh man, it was just so intense. Vinyls, reflective paint, all sorts of stuff. It's a great project. It's a long series, but it's so cool. Definitely the helmet is probably one of the most intense clay projects that I built because it incorporated so many of the hardwares to make it move. This is the Ditto completely painted out. Now, it has its own video as well. You can see me sculpt it or paint it there on YouTube. And you'll be able to find that over under the Pokemon playlist, Pokemon Inspired playlist, or at least for right now, I also have a Ditto playlist as well. I'm kind of consolidating all that down into one Pokemon arts and crafts playlist. So just so I don't have so many playlists, so I'm starting to consolidate those down into themed playlists. Also, after the Diglett, after the Ditto, I decided to make a Diglett, and this is me kind of like just showcasing a little bit of the Pokemons that I would like to create, and I had people vote. They did not vote for Grimer. Bummer, man. I really want to do Grimer. I'm really excited. I've had a really intense sculpture idea. It probably won't include a Tumblr at this point, but I might, maybe just if somebody wants to stow stuff away in it. But these were some of the ideas that I had people vote on for what they'd like to see. And they did vote for the Diglett, and I have 3 variations of Diglett. I started a little series of what would Diglett look like in different variant forms. So we made one where he's a legitimate worm. We made one where he is the cartoon version, and it has that little green leaf there. There's a side clip of that. And then we also made one of him looking like an actual mole, and he has like little claws and mole hands and mole wrinkly skin. And it's definitely still pretty cool, but it's different. It's different. So that's the end of this content, guys. I hope you enjoyed this version of Coffee Time. Well, maybe sweet tea today, but not coffee. But definitely check out some of the other videos, and make sure you check out the playlist listed here if you want to see all the other previous videos or the ones to come in the future. Again, we don't know how long TikTok's going to be around. They were thinking about getting rid of it a long time ago, and it's still around to this day, so at least the time of this video. But we'll see where it takes us along the road. Either way, I'm really enjoying the process of consolidating these videos down, talking to you here in the studio, and just spending time with you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you on the next awesome video.